Right, guys, we've got to talk about it. World Cup coming up. Shaun, I'm going to come to you first.
Yep.
Okay, there's always a debate about who should be on the plane for the World Cup, especially in that attacking midfield role. You've got the likes of Foden, Palmer, Rodgers, Bellingham. Who would you take on the plane out of all of them? Who would you leave behind? And who would be your starting attacking midfielder?
I think most of them can really come along with the squad, to be honest. I feel like a lot of the players are getting misprofiled by, as of recent inclusions into their club football teams. So Jude Bellingham obviously going playing up front basically in his first season, asked to play in a Ghost 9 role. I think doing well there, I think people started to feel like, oh, well, maybe he's a 10. But even though he wasn't even really playing a 10, he was playing up front, really. And then I just feel like Gareth Southgate, he kind of like went away from the fact that he should be playing Jude and Rice together. And international football, I don't think the build-up play is necessarily that demanding. And I feel like Rice can just go and do that job anyway. So why waste this fact of you having to bring in Anderson? I know Thomas Tuchel's now brought in Anderson and he's performed well and he's doing well this past season. But I just think Jude Bellingham and Rice should be our midfield pivot. And it should allow the likes of Foden and Palmer and Rodgers or Eze or whoever you want to call it in that 10.
Pick one.
Yeah. Oh, for me personally, I would have Foden in the 10.
Okay.
And it's because I want Palmer. This is very controversial, and I've said it on a recent show. But I want Palmer playing on the right, and I want Saka playing on the left.
He was the right winger at the City, Palmer,
okay.
so I agree with
because
that.
I just feel like Saka's got the ability to be able to run at players and beat players, and also cut in and use his weak foot. Because what we've seen with Saka on the right hand side is his ability to drive in the channels and deliver with his right foot, and also be able to cut back and obviously pose that threat of cutting inside and shooting. But that's literally what we get from Palmer. And if Palmer cuts inside a lot and allows our right back, which hopefully is Reece James, to get in behind, I feel like the threat of that right hand side cutting inside and having the overlap with Reece James would be massive. And it's not to say Saka's not great. I'm just like, I look at the other side and I'm like, would I rather have Saka or Gordon out there? And I'm like, Gordon's played okay, but Saka is a demon with both feet. And I genuinely think Saka
Rodgers could play out there as well on the left.
Yeah, like even Rodgers, but that's what I mean. The option of it,
Rodgers, on the left and Saka personally.
Even
Not
that. That's why I feel like.
Natural.
But that's why I feel like so many of them can actually get into this team if the manager wants to play them in areas where just try them. Like you brought in Anderson to try him in midfield, and it worked for you, and now it's like, oh, now I can't really shuffle it around because it's working.
Yeah.
You just haven't tried to shuffle it around. So why not give Saka a chance on the left-hand side and ask him to do something out there? Because Southgate asked Foden to go on the left in the last tournament. It didn't work, but I just feel like the attributes that Saka possesses, he could literally go on the left-hand side, and that attack would be frightening.
I mean, the answer for me is obviously, as a City fan, it's Phil Foden. I think he's. I know he hasn't had the best time for England. I do think putting him on the left or putting him on the right just doesn't work. I think in that sort of number 10 role, typically behind the striker, just ahead of midfielders, in that sort of half space outside the area. There's no one better in England than him. Like no one. He's ridiculous. The goals he scores from there, the assists, the chances he creates for Haaland and co. Fantastic. It only works if they tell Harry Kane just stop dropping deep. Be a striker, stop crowding that space and like have set roles.
That's him though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's bloody annoying though.
So good at it, though,
because he should be there, not there, because you don't need it. You don't need Kane deep. You've got Foden, Palmer, people like that. And Bellingham wants to be able. Everyone wants to be in that space behind the striker, but then someone has to be the striker. But even then, if you talk about that, if Kane's dropping deeper, like Foden is a ridiculously natural goal scorer. So I'm obviously going to push the guy. I can hand on heart admit he hasn't been good for England. It hasn't worked for him yet. At some point he's going to. He's too talented not to. I do agree with Shaun. I think you take pretty much all of them. I think England aren't blessed with great strikers. You take a couple of strikers and that's it really. Then you fit it with great attacking midfielders and wingers around them. But I think we need to see where Palmer's at by the end of the season, where he's formed because he's been injured and so on. I do think you also got to consider the fact that Palmer did step up in the final, a few years back, obviously.
And in a semi.
Yeah, in the semi, yeah. Like Palmer is, ice cold. Some people sound cringy saying that, but that wasn't even meant. That wasn't even meant with the Cole Palmer thing either. That was genuinely just because he is. He is like
it
he's
was
fearless.
Rodgers' but yeah.
But so is well, it's his celebration, wasn't it? They shared it at the academy. But the players who are fearless, who don't care about the quality of the game, who will score in any competition, it's really useful. And some people are great in cups, and some people are great in leagues. And maybe Foden is the latter, and Palmer's the former. But I think when you've got Foden, Palmer, Rodgers right now, Foden's the most in form, then Rodgers, and then Palmer's not had much of a season. So as it currently stands, that is the rank for me. But I still think you bring them all. I think you do. That's not what the video wants. I know you want one, but I think that's the honest answer.
Well, the viewers can decide at home. Anyway, staying on the theme of hot takes, we've got 5 hot takes for you. The wheel's going to spin. You've got 90 seconds to argue your case, okay? And it's going to be me and the viewers at home that decides who wins, okay? You ready?
Go for it.
Yep.
Cool. It's time for hot take number 1. So the wheel is spinning, and your first category is players. And your first hot take is, Cole Palmer would not fulfil his potential if he stayed at Manchester City. Let's go.
I can see both sides of this. I'm going to say there's a chance he would, because when he left City, you just actually scored in the Super Cup. He'd scored in the Community Shield as well, and the space had actually opened up with Mahrez leaving for Cole Palmer to actually make an impact. I do believe this was going to be the season when he left, or he was about to break through, actually, because he'd had a fair bit of football. As it was, Guardiola couldn't really convince him to stay. He said, you're not going on loan, you're either staying or you're going. So I think it wasn't really a quality thing. They just sort of banged heads and he moved on. I don't know if he would have scored as many at City as he did Chelsea, but it depends how you define his potential. Is it entirely goals and assists, or is it more than that, contributing? And when you look where City are right now, with Savinho and Doku and all these people haven't nailed down a slot, Palmer's better than them. He's been better than them for the past couple of years. So I actually think he would have, by sheer ability, forced his way in. And when he played at the academy for City, he played as a right winger. He was like a Mahrez clone. So I actually do believe he would have got into the side because the other guys weren't good enough. And I think he would have made that slot his own, because I think time shows that. So I think he would have. He would have been maybe slower to do it, but I think he would have got there.
Yeah, I think Cole Palmer, I don't think he would have been as relied on because of the fact that Chelsea's relied on his independence of talent. But at the same time, it's like Mahrez was going out the door, and no one's really fulfilled that right-hand space really for them anyway. So I think Cole Palmer would have definitely fulfilled his potential, but maybe just not scored as many goals than he did at Chelsea.
Okay, interesting. You're both looking at me. You're both like you're supposed to scaring me. I don't know. What do I believe? I believe, have we seen Cole Palmer's potential? Like, has he fulfilled it yet? I don't think he has. I think he's an unbelievable player. I still don't think he's hit his ceiling of where he can get to. I still think he can go 2 or 3 levels above. And I do agree. I do think he could have easily fulfilled it.
My gut tells me, by the way, this is Cole Palmer. My gut tells me he'll get better, but I don't think he's going to be loads better than he is.
I think just staying consistent enough as it is world-class level, because you're talking about turning up in some of the biggest games when he's up against the biggest teams. So I think Cole Palmer, as long as he stays consistent, I think that's as good as what... I think everyone bases it to Messi and Ronaldo level.
Yeah.
And we're not appreciating the fact that there's the Haalands and the Mbappes and the Yamals and the Palmers for consistently performing. And that's what he's been doing. Okay, I'm going to make a decision here. First one is going to go to the viewers at home, okay? You guys at home, you're going to decide who wins hot take number 1. It's time for hot take number 2. Here we go. So the wheel is spinning and your category is club. Before Chelsea's takeover, Man City were the bigger club. Shaun, I'm going to go to you first. Personally, I think it was a bit of a mid-off between both of them, to be honest. I know our stadium's not the biggest and stuff, and our heritage isn't that great prior to the Roman era, but we were building there. Like, Matthew Harding was getting to that stage of actually building that team of European players, because when the Bosman ruling came in, like, we had the Roberto Di Matteos, the Gianfranco Zolas, the LeBuffs, the Desai's, all those Albert Ferrers and all them players coming through, all those like foreign players actually helped us get to where we were building to, because like we finished second in the season before we won the league to Arsenal, so we were getting there. So before Roman, we were building. So I don't know, maybe just before the takeover, we were slightly bigger than Man City as their historical stuff, but as a club for their size and their stadium size, maybe City, yeah.
I genuinely think City were slightly bigger. That's based on trophies as well before the takeover. City, I think, had more league titles, and they won an FA Cup beforehand as well. They had the highest attendance record in English football history. It's like 100,000 in the FA Cup semi-final back in the olden days. You can bear in mind as well, we had an absurd fan base that stuck with us when we were down the lower tiers. We had 32,000 watching us in the third tier of English football. I'd be amazed if it was the same for Chelsea if they're down there too. And Chelsea's attendance has always been statistically a lot lower than City's over the decades.
Our ground is smaller.
No, but even when our ground was smaller at Main Road, it was still smaller. So I think City were genuinely big and fun. It was not they were great clubs, but I think City were slightly bigger.
1. Okay, on this one, just because of arguments, I'm going to go with Stephen. Okay, I'm going to say that Man City were a bigger club before Chelsea's takeover. Because as a Spurs fan, I'm going to say that.
I was just about to say that. Because we did win trophies as well. We were. Roberto Di Matteo did score in an FA Cup.
You've only got 90 seconds to argue. You didn't mention trophies. You mentioned Di Matteo. So we're going to go for 1-0 Stephen so far. And it's on to hot take number 3. Here we go. And your category is other. And your hot take is Stamford Bridge has a better atmosphere than the Etihad. Don't care who starts. Let's go.
I don't think Chelsea fans are known really for atmosphere. I would say they are. I mean, Chelsea. No,
that's always the excuse.
That's always it is. I mean,
this is coming from a City fan as well, by the way.
Who's embraced the Lech Poznan and all dancing and looking at the other way.
At least you know it.
Jumping up and down.
You know what it is. But anyway, look at what Valverde said. It's the best atmosphere I've experienced with the Etihad. And the Real Madrid player said they had the fear, they shake. I can admit in the lesser games, it isn't the biggest.
Sorry. Who said they had the fear of going to the Etihad?
The Real Madrid players.
No.
You can't say it's not true. It's literally
surely
true.
That's a misquote.
It's literally true.
Sure. Okay. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
I'm going to check it right now.
I think he's desperately clinging on to proving a source of someone saying that it was a great...
The greats of the Galacticos who play in the Bernabeu every week were shaking in their boots at the Etihad.
And the Etihad with all those McDonald's tickets.
He's fact-checking it.
It's true.
He's fact-checking it. Who was it?
The most difficult stadiums I've ever played at was the Etihad Stadium. So the fans were electric and the atmosphere was intense.
That's like asking Jamie O'Hara.
What's Valverde?
I know Valverde. I know, but do you know what it is? The gate crashing at Stamford Bridge when the goal goes in, and the shed end where I'm sitting in, and the Matthew Harding. Over the past 20 years, maybe not so much recent, but just when the goals go in, the atmosphere is rocking. It's a lot more tighter. It's a lot more kind of like home, family orientated when they're close together. Fans are just jumping on top of each other.
10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's got the better atmosphere.
I can admit that in less of the games it's about average, but the big games it's ridiculous.
3,
it's absurd. Big
2,
games. Always is.
1.
Bigger at us.
It's tough because I'll be real. There are times where I've been at Champions League nights at the Etihad, and it's
Spurs
not just
game.
Yeah, Spurs game. Of course, I remember it.
Chelsea, Barcelona,
we went through.
Chelsea, Bayern Munich. I could name loads of Champions League.
But then I do think if you're talking about again Premier League and on average, I don't want to sound biased. I do think both grounds are quite poor for atmosphere compared to some of the clubs. But then when you're thinking about goals going in and stuff, whether it's just your expectation of how many league titles you've won recently, and it's like every goal that goes, oh brilliant, another one like tick off or whatever it is. I don't know. What is this hot take number 4 or 3?
3.
This is number 3. Perfect. That's a great answer because this one is also kind to the viewers. Okay, let us know if Stamford Bridge has a better atmosphere than the Etihad, and let us know, is Stamford Bridge and the Etihad two of the worst stadiums for atmospheres in the Premier League?
Because I feel like this is a myth online.
But we've got areas of the stadium, like the Shed End and Matthew Harding. The Shed End is known for being... I don't think there's a section in the City Stadium where they've actually got a predominant group of fans.
We don't need a section. The whole thing in the big games is ridiculous.
They're all doing
you need like a little pocket of fans. I mean, near the away fans, around 114 blocks around then, it is really loud, always. But it's obviously near the away fans, it always is. That's the thing. But I can admit, the thing is, I'm being honest here. I admit there's some games, it's a procession, you turn up. It's the same, the Premier League's full of that now. Everyone's start drinking coffees these days instead of drinking beer, and the games have got a lot more sanitized. You get bloody Spurs, you sell popcorn and cheese and stuff like that, man. You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous.
Tastes good though.
I'm sure it does. The point is, you've got that's football in 2025 with the Premier League. But I guarantee you, big games. I've sat there. I walked away from the Etihad with no voice when we played Liverpool and we played Real Madrid, and the best I ever saw was Arsenal. We beat them 4-1 on the way to win the treble. It's ridiculous. Like Arsenal.
I know you're trying hard, but
it's honestly on a big night, it's electric.
Right, cool. Guys, let us know. If you have ever been to the Etihad, let us know. Was it like Valverde said? Were you shaking in your boots? It is time for hot take number 4. Yes, guys, hope you're enjoying the show. And whilst I've got you, make sure to check out our sponsors, Bet442, and their sign-up options on the screen and in the description. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Here we go. Your category is history. And your hot take is Mourinho's Chelsea would have beaten City's Centurions to the league. Let's go.
I think we were formidable, Chelsea, Jose Mourinho, not conceding goals. I think the talk of Arsenal trying to break that record is a joke of the defence that we had and just the potent threat of forwards we had. It might not have been individually the better players, but collectively that team was just a formidable team. It was one of the stronger teams that what we don't associate with Chelsea now is that strength of that midfield, the SCNs, the Makaleles, the Balaks, just that backline, Carvalho, Terry, probably the best partnership in Premier League history. Obviously, City were great in terms of scoring goals and that, but I just think that was a formidable Chelsea team.
Bit more than scoring goals. The only team we beat you that season, by the way, City. We beat you 2-1 and we were shit then. So Madrid's actually good. So to me, it's not even close. I think Centurions is the most impressive accomplishment in Premier League history. 100 points. It's utterly absurd to get that many. Defensively, that team was fantastic. The vibrancy of the creativity of Sane, Sterling, Aguero, De Bruyne, David Silva with Fernandinho ahead of him. Ridiculous. So many ways to get at everyone. Pace, goals, absurd creativity. There's never been a more creative pair than David Silva and De Bruyne. That was them at their very best. You just then you had the power of company at the back and all that kind of stuff. But
defensively, it weren't the same though.
Kyle Walker,
it wasn't the same defensively.
We scored. We had the best defensive record in the league that year and scored an absurd amount of goals.
Yeah, you scored an absurd amount of goals.
We won more games in the row than anyone else had ever won in a round. We broke every single record the Premier League had other than goals conceded, and we got vastly more points than the side
3.
as well.
Nah,
what have they got over than less goals?
Nah. Well, I'm just saying defensively that team there.
That's all there is though.
We just came off the back of an Arsenal undefeated season, and we literally lost to a rainy, dodgy penalty against Anelka the next season against Manchester City. And that was the only game we lost.
What would you rather watch?
It was formidable, that Chelsea team.
Incredible goals.
Because this is not a nice hot take. So I'm going to have to be biased again.
Literally all they had over City was we conceded less. That's it.
I think your Centurions weren't in a better league than what we was in. We was in a way better competitive league.
I mean, you can't prove that either way. I mean, that's just an opinion.
That's my opinion.
Liverpool got to the Champions League final that year, and that's who we were up against.
But we was getting robbed left, right, and centre them early Mourinho years against the Barcelona's the best team of all time, and Messi and Xavi and Iniesta. And
we won about the league title here either way. But then the next year, City had to get 98 points to go win the league again, with Liverpool getting 97. Do you know how hard it is to get 198 points across two sides?
Right, I'm going to have to make a decision. Okay. And there's a pro and con to this. I am going to go Stephen's way, so it's 2-0 technically. However, the last hot take is worth double points because I do think I've been a bit harsh on Shaun's side. Okay, so it's currently 2-0. However, it could be 2-2 for all we know if the viewers vote both ways to Shaun in the comment section. It's time for our 5th and final hot take. The wheel is spinning and your category is club, and your 5th and final hot take is Man City's academy has produced more top talent than Chelsea's. Good luck. Shaun, off we go.
Can I say 2 words? Cole Palmer, literally your best player, is the City Academy prospect. You took our academy scouting Joe Shields. I'm going first. You tried to scout Nico O'Reilly. You got Tosin Abios, your backup centre back. Who else have you got? You tried these even more. I've forgotten about them all. But Gittins was a City player. You got Sancho, who was a City player. And they're no good. That's not our fault.
And Sancho,
you still signed them all.
They've only got the ability
Phil Foden,
to say
PFA Player of the Year. You got signed the lap as well.
Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, yes. Everyone else, in predominantly of the percentage of the players that they've produced, have been nowhere near even league football. The amount of players...
I mean, that's not true.
No, but the amount of players that Chelsea have produced that have gone on to play even League One, Championship, Premier League football across Europe.
That's the same for City.
Maybe as of recent, but we've been doing it predominantly for we've won multiple Champions Leagues as youth academy teams.
I think you're forgetting about sort of like people like Morgan Rogers and people like that. I think you're forgetting about a lot of really good
but like the
players who come to
Tammy
City's academy.
Abrahams, the Tamoris,
Think
the
about the
Loftus
statement
Cheeks
though, produced more top talent, not just
More-
talent,
yeah, even
but
more
Brahim
top
Diaz,
tier
you know,
talent.
Real Madrid as well. He's a cracking player. I didn't have the list in front of me, but City are producing an awful lot of talent right now. Like even Odyssey was at City's academy at one point. You know,
More recent, but we've produced. Mason Mount is a top talent. Reece James is a top talent. Like we've produced a lot of top talents in this league.
there's two there.
10 seconds.
I like-
Sean, you're going to have to fight. Keep fighting, Sean. You're 10 seconds.
like good players, not great players.
Yeah, but then what are the top talents from City? Just
Palmer,
Palmer and
Phil
Foden.
Foden.
Time, we're going to go into VAR.
That's it. That's just
Extra
it.
time.
It's two
Morgan
players.
Rogers.
But your Morgan Rogers is the same as me saying a lot of the mediocre. But that's not a top
You'd
talent.
take Nico O'Reilly right now, wouldn't you?
Oh come on, Nico O'Reilly. We're talking about the Nathan Ake's. Nathan Ake came from us. Like, you had him. It's like
Won a treble,
we've
good
got
players,
so
yeah.
we've got so many players that have played at the Premier League level and in the champs and across Europe.
So
I think
City-
it's evident it's us. Obviously, City recently have done very well, but I still feel like it's Chelsea.
I
Okay,
think it's closer than you realise.
right. I think for this one, I think in terms of players that maybe be at the top level of football, it might be City. However, I do think in terms of talent, since academies were a massive thing, I do think Chelsea's academy is better. You're even thinking
I
about the
feel like
likes of
Romeo
Lewis
Lavia as
Hall
well.
and people
Romeo
that come
Lavia.
through the ranks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it Sean's way. It's 2-2.
I wish I'd done research in this because I
It's
didn't. Yeah, top of my
2-2,
head.
which means
Yeah, but
the
there's-
final vote
yeah.
goes to you guys. We're gonna have to end it there. It's 2-2. The final vote goes to you guys in the comment section below. So let us know: did Stephen win this week's hot takes, or did it go home with Sean? Let us know in the comments below, and stay tuned for the next video.